The seventh week of the Legion Sunday Showdown was a surprising tournament where a lot of the powerhouse teams fell early, but one team that has competed in 4 of the 7 weeks made it to the finals once again by the name of DrDios and Flying Matt. I'm excited to be joined today by DrDios, and we're going to get a chance to get to know him and his thoughts on the tournament. How are you doing today, DrDios?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Really glad to have you. I've been watching a lot of your point, or at least your perspectives on your stream. And one thing that I enjoy about your team is how hyper aggressive you guys are. And a lot of the times I've noticed you don't even go for shields or heals. You just go for mobility, whether it's picking up balloons, grapples. And that's something that I really enjoy seeing from you from a commentator perspective. But before we get into any of that, I want to give at least the viewers the opportunity to get to know you a little bit more. So let's start off. When did you start competitive gaming and what got you into Fortnite?
Competitive gaming, way back in Call of Duty Ghosts, I started doing competitive GBs and all that stuff, grinding the GB leaderboards back in the day. And then after that, what was after that? I think I took a little break until Black Ops 2 and then League play. Or was Black Ops 2 before Ghosts? Can't remember.
Black Ops 2 was before Ghost.
Okay, yeah, Black Ops 2 I got into League play. And I was loving League play. That was really scratching that competitive itch. And then, started doing 8s at the end of Black Ops 2. And then when Ghost came out, I kind of, through 8s, I found out about GBs. And did GBs all the way until, what was it? Advanced Warfare. And then did more GBs in Advanced Warfare. And then even started doing some tournaments. Didn't do too well, but it was super fun. And then Black Ops 3, I did a ton of GBs, and then started doing wagers in Black Ops 3. I did wagers like the whole length of the game. Met some super awesome friends during that. Tried some tourneys. At the end of the day, I didn't feel like I really was at the level I deserved to be at, if that doesn't sound too arrogant. But it's really hard to find like good players to play with. Not talking down on the people I played with. I was still really good friends with them. They're awesome people, but all the like the really good players with trophies had like a huge ego in the COD community. So it was kind of hard to get to the level I wanted to be at back then. So I think after Black Ops 3, I started playing Overwatch on console, and then I was like, if I want to play this competitively, I got to get a PC. So got a PC, started playing Overwatch. And then PUBG came out, and lo and behold, the BRs, I fell in love with the BRs. Started grinding leaderboards, and, got number 1 NA on the leaderboards and duos with a buddy. And, Fortnite was kind of there in the background, and we're kind of just making fun of it. It looks like a kid's game type of thing, like everybody. And, then PUBG started getting kind of boring, kind of bland. The development of the game was like absolutely horrible. So that kind of turned us off. And then I tried Fortnite, and I tried Fortnite originally when it first came out, and like didn't really think much of it because PUBG was so fun back then. But then I went back to Fortnite like months later, and I never looked back to PUBG after. Fortnite was just so fun. It was kind of further in its development at that point. So, and it was super popular. Like Ninja was blowing up at that time, and I think it was around season 3 I started getting into Fortnite. Yep.
Okay. Well, obviously you develop as a player considerably well. Your builds are insane. Your edits, your aggressiveness is on point, at least for the top players out there. When we first got a chance to see your gameplay, that's when you really impressed me. That was during week 2, and I know you placed 3rd with Kason, and then you ended up switching it up week 4, and you ended up started playing with Flying Matt. Week 4 wasn't, I guess, your best placement. I know you guys finished dead last, but week 6 you came back with a vengeance, and you placed 1st, and then week 7 last week you ended up placing 2nd. You've made $9,000 total in these Legion Sunday Showdowns, which is absolutely insane, very impressive to say the least, and of course we're going to have many more after this. But what it is, I mean, really, from Kason to Flying Matt, what is it that makes you guys so consistent?
Well, me and Flying Matt have a really similar play style, and I noticed that I actually played 1v1 wagers against Flying Matt a bunch, and had some time to spectate him during that, and I noticed he was a really good player. And Kurt Kason had to take a little bit of a break for some family stuff. I love Kurt, so I started playing with Flying Matt. I just hit him up and I'm like, "Yo, you want to do this qualifier?" And he like didn't even know what it was. pretty much. And then we had won it. The first, like, I didn't play a game with him before that qualifier, and we went into it and won the whole thing. So like right away, you could tell our play styles meshed perfectly. And if we could continue playing together and build some actual chemistry, I figured it could be like a really really good duo. So we pursued it. We did a bunch of wagers and started getting some chemistry. And yeah, it's just it's our play styles, our meshing play styles. And it goes really well together. We have some pretty good synergy, and we're on the same page with rotations and everything. But there's a lot of stuff that goes into being successful in this type of pub stomping, do-over squad type of competition. There's a ton of stuff that goes into it. And at the end of the day, communication and team synergy, it's invaluable. It trumps everything else. But I've been working on studying, like absolutely everything. Studying sounds so nerdy, but like every asset of the game. Like you can't just be a good technically skilled player and expect to be consistent in this type of a gameplay. Like sure, you can slay out in some games, but being consistent, that takes avoiding putting yourself in horrible situations when it comes to like swanning on teams, uh, rotations, communication, yeah, all those factors come into play. And I
It's quite a bit.
yeah,
Yeah, I
there's
mean,
a ton of stuff
especially, I mean, yeah, and the RNG too. You have to account for that. Speaking of your
for
previous
sure.
teammate though, Kaysen, you ended up beating him in week 6 to take home first place. Did him being a previous teammate have any effect in your strategy going into the finals of that to be able to take the victory?
No, the only thing, everyone pretty much plays the same when you're at like the upper level of this stuff. Everyone knows the same rotations and the good drop spots. But if anything, just knowing that he drops floaty, like the Cyclone, because that's what me and him used to do since the first day of the season. Like that's the only thing I had in my mind. Like they're probably going to go there, and we were going there every time too, because it's just the most consistent possible drop ever. Like it was super low risk and super high reward. But the bus we got in the first game was horrible, so neither of us actually went there, which was funny. And then so we had like what was it, a 9 kill lead, and then yeah, going into game 2, then we both went floaty, and they trumped us. They slayed out there and almost caught up, and then went to Pleasant and slayed out more, and then we were down kills in the first like 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's funny how these tournaments work. I mean, you can land, get all the eliminations, and then find nobody until the very last few amount of people. So your rotations are extremely critical, and I know you guys do extremely well with that. Now let's go ahead and talk about last week, week 7. You had to qualify round 2 winners, okay, of Pan and Dagod. Very solid team throughout the tournament. Round 1 was really hard fought. You guys did considerably well. I know eventually though you ended up getting dropped by a 4-man push. Your teammate Flying Matt ended up getting sniped, I think, by into the body. He gets dropped. You push forward, and unfortunately, there was just not a lot you could do in that situation. 4 people pushing you. What are you going to do? But still, though, going into round number 2, you're only down 2 eliminations. Walk me through the second round, because I know it was hard fought too. In the second round, you only lost to the team in total by 2 eliminations. Walk me through it and what was going through your guys' minds.
Yeah, look, second game, Flying Matt absolutely popped off. He went in, and at the end of the day, we should have won the game. We needed 1 kill out of 5 at the end, and I just made a mistake, man. It happens. I'm human. We pushed the kids who are at Leaky Lake now, or whatever it is, and I thought he was a complete and total like bad player, because I was like flying down on him and he didn't even build. But in replay, I go and look, and he was getting a chest, so that threw me off. And then I thought he was turtling while I was spamming him. Like I didn't think this kid would build up in a million years, and then he ramps over me, and I just had an instinct to trap him from the bottom. And I didn't even have any traps at that point in the game, which was just, I don't know, that's so unlucky. But I should have looked. But it was like a super intense moment. Like I had my opponents on my back, so I knew I needed to hurry up, and I just had that instinct to trap him from the bottom. Didn't have any traps, and then it was super laggy in that little one by. Like you can go see on the stream. I tried to break the trap as soon as he placed it with my pickaxe, and it like glitched me, and the first swing didn't even register, so I ended up getting hit by it. And at that point, I was just already dead, pretty much. But yeah, I can learn some things from it. I should have built out. It was just a split second mistake. I shouldn't have tried to trap him from the bottom. But I figured like they're right behind me. I gotta get this kill and make sure like I get the full kill. So I figured that was a good way to go about it, even though I didn't have any traps. But yeah, the lag kind of screwed me, and I made some mistakes. But at the end of the day, that's what cost us the game right there. If I got that kill, we were tied, and then we were still alive, and then the three kids at factories like 2 feet away. We probably could have got one of those too. So yeah, that's basically what happened there. We played super well up until that point where I kind of choked, but it
Sure.
happens.
Well, I mean, even so, though, first place the previous week, 5K. Now, of course, second place, not too bad, 3K. Still puts you at 8,000. Now you're going to be moving forward into the second week. You're already, of course, going to be playing with Flying Matt. You already know your opponents. It's going to be the qualifier round one runner-ups, which you, of course, have a respect for yourself being a qualifier team originally coming into this tournament. You have to face off against sometimes 100, 200 teams, 8 straight rounds of flawless performance in order to get into these tournaments. But I've already talked about your aggressive play style, choosing mobility, balloons, grappler, whatever, over shields and hills. Will we see that same aggressive play style going into the 8th week of the Legion Sunday Showdown?
Yeah, 100%. There's less RNG involved now that there's so many, items for mobility like the balloons and the grapples, and you can just build up and fly off your materials. So we'll definitely be looking, mobility is number one. I'm going to prioritize it over shields, any day. Unfortunately, you have to. In this, you got to just risk it and then get heals from the team you kill and heal up and then, continue on. Balloon up right away. Don't take any time to do anything really. You should know your rotations before you even land. Like when you're on the bus, you should already be calling out your like first kind of 3 rotations like we do. So yeah, I'll be rocking balloons and a grappler if I can. I'll be rocking double balloons if I can. Uh, yeah, it's I'm gonna prioritize that number one for sure. You're not gonna win if you can't find the teams, and oftentimes that happens.
Well, I know it's going to be an exciting match if we get to go on board with you, myself, and Landon. And it's of course there's going to be a lot of eliminations going down, a lot of rotations. But let's go ahead and kind of close it out here. What can we expect from you moving forward in your competitive Fortnite career or your streaming platform?
I'm gonna try to keep performing well in these 10Ks, and hopefully that gets me noticed in some sort of way. I'd love to get in an organization. Obviously, that's everybody's goal, and obviously get in the skirmishes in the future and try to win some real money. But this has been a huge opportunity. These 10Ks, like there's without this, there's nothing. There's just little paid tournaments. So I'm super grateful for this, even like the exposure it's got me already. And yeah, I'm just gonna try to do my best to get in an organization. I know I could perform well for any one of them. I've proven that we can compete with the best and even beat the best. So yeah, I'm just gonna keep grinding, keep streaming as much as I can, and try to win as many of these 10Ks that are left.
I'm absolutely sure that you have a bright future. We've already seen the skill that you possess, and I hope you can find an organization soon. But if the people here watching this interview, if they want to find and learn more about you, where can they find you?
My stream, twitch.tv /DrDios, or my Twitter, which hopefully can be linked below. It's just Trevor Brisson _ my actual name.
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming on, Dr. Dios. It's always great to watch you and Flying Matt. Next week is going to be even more exciting. But, hey, I appreciate it, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on, honestly. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. And if you guys enjoyed this interview, make sure to like and subscribe for more esports content here on UMG Events.